metaphysical, paranormal. You know, all those things you've been wondering about. Are you ready to go deeper into the realms of the unknown? I hope you've got your walking shoes on, because life is an adventure, and this is the journey. Come on, let's go. Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. Hey, we're the She-Squatchers. I'm Jen, and that's Jena.
Hey, and today I'm sporting a 1980s hairdo look just for the dance. All right, I'm back.
Did you do your 80s dance moves too, Jena?
I did. Somehow it all became clear again. I was like, wow.
It's amazing. We've got lots of people in the chat already.
Hey.
Yeah. We got Mark from Australia.
Hello, Mark from Australia. If I didn't do that justice, but hello.
That was my special announcement. We're excited to have everybody here, and we might have a super surprise special guest popping in. I'm so excited.
Would there be one or two?
Well, here he is. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Oh, I think we're ready. We're ready.
Drum roll, please. It's Adam Davies.
Hello, Adam.
Hello, ladies. How are you?
Good.
Fabulous.
So excited.
Where are you at these days?
Well, I live in Tennessee, but right now I'm in LA. I've been doing some filming in Burbank. So Jen mentioned about your show tonight to me, and I just finished filming. So I've just got myself a glass of wine. I'm stopped by this little fire. I do that, and I said, "Yes, perfect. Cheers."
It's cheers.
And so I said I'd join in and just say hello to you, because obviously I think a lot of you, and I support your show. So I wanted to just come in and say hi to you both. And Tammy is there.
Tammy took the night off, so it was just Jena and I. So
just the two of you. Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's very cozy.
You know, you broke me, Adam. You broke me. I can't talk about monkeys now. I can't. You broke me.
Oh, that could be construed so many different ways. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you have lost the ability to talk about monkeys, but they're friendly creatures, possibly sometimes too friendly. I
think of monkey. I think of you.
I could tell you, I actually got told a really gross story about monkeys the other day, but I don't think I can tell it on your live stream, but I'll tell you another time. But it was bad. It was so bad, and I laughed so hard, and I felt bad because I laughed.
That's okay.
Now
it's all good. Stay on after the show is done. We'll listen.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I've been up since 4 a.m. I was telling Jen. I'm real tired. I'm going to have this glass of wine, and then I'm gonna go to bed because I've got to fly back to Tennessee tomorrow. Really, when you're doing one of these film shoots, it's like they squeeze as much in as they can, and then you go back, and so that's where they are. Hi everyone. Hi everyone.
Yes, hello. Oh, I'm so excited. This, I just had a feeling like, and it wasn't even that much before the show. I was like, I should invite Adam to come on the show if he can pop on as a super special.
That's good.
That's so fun.
Good. Yeah, and so what have you got planned? You three, have you got planned in the next few months? You got stuff on, haven't you? Investigations, all sorts of things.
We have amazing plans for 2025. Jen?
We do have amazing plans, and I didn't think we were allowed to talk about it.
Oh.
No, I'm not talking about it. I'm just saying we have amazing plans. Jen, no.
You have amazing secret plans. That's what you have.
We do.
Oh,
you know what I like about your adventures? I one of the things I really like about your adventures, and I'm going to pay you this compliment, is when I see you interacting either as a duo tonight or as a threesome. with Tammy, you always look like you're having fun, okay? And you make the best of every situation, because anybody who does outdoor stuff, it's not always fun. Yeah, being covered in dirt and things biting you and being hungry, but you do make out, you do have the best of times, and you live your lives and you live them well, and that's great. That's a great attitude to have. So I do like enjoying. I do enjoy what you do. I enjoy it a lot. So I wanted you to know that.
So sweet.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Adam.
Adam. That's so sweet. Now you're back up there on the top 5. No, I'm kidding.
You told me I was your special man, Jenna. You're so fickle.
You know, I am fickle. 1 minute this way, 1 minute a pickle.
You have got a lovely voice. You have got a lovely voice, though. I mean, Jen sent me the singing. You're singing, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's lovely. So you have.
Aw,
You've got
thank
a
you.
voice. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, it's all right. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
So what else do you have to say we're awesome at?
That'll do. That'll do for now. That'll do for now.
Okay, my head is swelling a bit.
Oh, your hair might be rising with the swelling.
Oh my,
She raised her hair.
oh my gosh.
Raise the hair.
My
Raised
head's
the
a bit
hair.
swollen.
She did. She did. So, Adam, just for our listeners or our watchers who maybe aren't familiar with all of your work, you want to give a quick list of the things that you've been on? And so they know just how impressive this is that we have Adam Davies joining us tonight.
Well, I do. I've done expeditions all over the world: Mongolia, China, Sumatra, Nepal, the Congo, many different places. I've done TV shows on Discovery, Nat Geo, History Channel, all of those channels. So I've done lots of different things for quite a few years now, and here I am in Hollywood, which is nowhere near as glamorous as people might imagine. It's all so yeah, I'm doing that, and then I'm flying back, but really it's not about that. The main thing it's about is exploration, investigation, and enjoyment, things that will resonate with you two. So that's what I'm really about.
Awesome. Exciting. Love it. And of course, he's our monkey expert.
I don't want to be. Why am I the monkey expert?
Because
Why am I that?
Our show and told us all about monkeys.
Well, you did learn a lot about monkeys,
I
but
did.
that's the nature of monkeys. They are what they are, you know. That's
Right.
it. Right, so the moral of the story, let me tell you, do not have a pet monkey. They're very cute, but you don't want to show any weakness around them, you know. Maybe like ex-boyfriends or something. I don't know.
That's funny. That's funny.
So you're going through what you're doing tonight on your show, because I won't stay too long. I just wanted to come in and say hello and show you my support. So what are you up to tonight on your show?
We were just going to take questions from our live chat section of what they wanted to know, and now they want to know, Adam, when are you coming back to Alabama?
I don't know. I made a film that hasn't been released yet, called The Vanished, with a film crew from Alabama, and they were a ball. I had a great time with them, and some very strange stuff happened as well. So I don't know when I'm coming back to Alabama, but with me living in Tennessee, it's pretty easy for me to come back to Alabama. It's just down the road. I live right on the edge of the Smokies. So if you think about Gatlinburg, where you guys have both spoken, and out on the other side is Townsend, I'm sort of around that area. So I'm very much in that vicinity. I like it, you know. I like when I did expeditions in Britain, it used to cost a lot of money to get anywhere. But like literally I can finish what I'm doing and then go out into the mountains and just be in the forests, and that's a great thing. I love that. I always love being out in nature. It makes you feel good. You watch my Monday videos, I know, Jen, and you know, I sort of think, oh, it's great to just be out. No matter what mood you're in, I think you can go out into the woods and it just clears you. You just that resonance with nature. So there we are.
Whenever I see your videos, and you always end it, or at some point you say, I hope you have a wonderful week.
Yes.
I like to say it with you, and it's like you're saying it directly to me.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Sometimes as well, I'm really quite breathless because I've been climbing some mountain or something, and I'm like trying to not sound like I'm completely exhausted when I'm up somewhere. But the last one I did at the flower sinks, I'd had a rest, so I was walking around. So I'd had a rest when I got to the flower sinks, and I was like, oh, I can actually speak for a change, because normally I'm on top of a mountain or a ridge or something. But yeah, I know it's I think that one of the best things in the world is to be there with nature, and there are lots of bears here, so I've got to keep my eye out for those. But other than that, I'm good. I'm good. Very good.
You're good.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Bigfoot's more like a human or like a monkey?
It's more like a human, I would say, because it displays a high level of intelligence, which is very similar to ours. People don't actually understand how intelligent grey apes are. So orangs, for example, you can teach them to about 200 words of sign language. I've seen gorillas and orangs in different parts of the world, in different places. Gorillas are capable of evasive behavior and lying, but Bigfoot's even more intelligent than them. I saw a Bigfoot in the land between the lakes, and it and its group were displaying evasive maneuvering and strategy, which frankly astonished me. So I think they're very, very intelligent. How intelligent, I don't know. Anybody who says they do know, you should treat with extreme caution. But I do think that they are very, very smart. Very smart.
I think a creature has to be extremely intelligent to know that they should avoid us at all costs. Right?
Yeah, it's yes, and I've made that point. So I can give you one quick example. I don't want to take up the whole of your hour, but I'll give you one quick example because it will help people understand. So many years ago, I was making a film for National Geographic. It's called The Last Living Neanderthal, and that was on the border of Mongolia and Kazakhstan. It's a very remote area. And after that, Nat Geo flew home in their jets, and me and two Mongolians. I had a little crappy handheld GPS. I had to there are no roads there, or maybe one or two near Ulaanbaatar, the capital. But I had to navigate my way back across this country, which is the size of Western Europe, in this little Jeep. Now, it was a wonderful adventure. At night, we'd sit by a little fire we'd made, drink vodka, talk bullshit, the sort of things that yous enjoy and I enjoy. And I did that with them. But there was one time when I worked out, for example, we were about 50 miles from the nearest person. But if I'd seen a fire, I would go to it because it would have been a beacon of interest. So what do? As a species, we're quite aggressive and we dominate, and eventually we'd overwhelm. Yeah. Look at, better than I, Jen, look at our relations sometimes with Native American peoples. We overwhelm and we're aggressive and we dominate. And I think we'd do that with Bigfoot, or historically we would have done. So I think its best strategy is to keep away from us. And there may have been cultural recession in the past. For example, it's not a good idea to light fires, and that's the point I wanted to make, because they act as a beacon for us to get involved. So that's it.
Here's a question. What do you think, Adam? And this is just something that crossed my mind. Okay, so Dogman hasn't been around for that long. Do you think that some of these cryptids have been man-made experiments and just happened to?
Well, there was a story. I did a film for Discovery called Yeti Massacre, and in that there was a talk about the creatures from the Dyatlov Pass. There was a possibility there could have been some Russian experiments on primates, and they did indeed do experiments. The Russians, is well documented, but how far they got is open to question. But I sort of think with Dogman, at first I struggled with it because there was no evolutionary pedigree to it. Yeah, so in other words, where has it come from? But there are some very credible eyewitnesses, some who and some who I have spent a lot of time with as well, like Martin Groves, the sheriff, who had those encounters. Martin isn't a liar. He's a friend of mine. I know him very well. So, and then it becomes, well, what are they? And I think that they are. I think with a dog man, it's some sort of entity, but I don't think it follows our physical laws. I think it's malevolent, but I think it exists. As to exactly what it is, I'm not really sure. But I imagine, I think at the moment I'm leaning to the idea that it leaks. It's some sort of interdimensional entity, is what I'd say. We know that there are many parallel universes. We know there are many dimensions. That's established physics now. I think that somehow that permeates into our own world, and that's what it is. I've always looked for biological creatures. I've never looked for dogman per se. But if you're asking me, what could it be with it not having an evolutionary pedigree here, I think it has to be something else. But it's not good. There is no benevolent encounters with dogmen, to the best of my knowledge, of anybody I've ever spent any time with. It's always a bit of a, it's always unpleasant, always unpleasant. So people say, I want to see dogman. I would say, well, yeah, see it from a distance, but the interactions with that thing's never going to be good. It's not good news if you see one of those. It's bad news.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That was a great answer.
I know it's a long answer. I'm sorry.
Beautiful. We love your answers. There's a reason why you're here.
Wendell says that he met you at the Greg Uggles film premiere.
Oh yeah, The Land Between the Lakes. So yes, of course, Wendell. Well, that's a really good film, and people should watch that. I had a genuine Bigfoot encounter there. It was very astonishing. I was astonished by the whole thing. So they can see that, and it's really worth it. It's really, really a wonderful, wonderful film. So there we are. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. I don't want to take up all your time. I feel like it's
one more question.
Okay.
Can you take one more?
Of course, I will take one more.
So Bigfoot recon. Do you think Bigfoot can reason?
Yeah, absolutely. So anything. One thing that's really important, though, I want people to understand, is because I have seen these creatures in the wild. They are capable. So even if you take a gorilla, it's capable of very advanced and complex thought. So let's take Coco the gorilla, for example, which was in a zoo, so people can relate more. Coco pulled a sink off a wall once, and the zookeeper said, "Well, what's going on?" And she blamed it on her pet cat. Now it's a terrible lie, but the fact is she's lying. Yeah. Now, what I want people to understand is that orangs and gorillas have different behaviors. It's just like people, yeah. There are nice people and not so nice people, yeah. There are people who are devious, and there are devious gorillas. It might seem strange to you, but it's true. Now, I think that Bigfoot is a lot more intelligent than these creatures. So its behavior is complex and also intelligent. I saw in The Land Between the Lakes that they were capable of strategic thinking. They were trying to outflank us. It was very clear that if they're capable of strategic thinking, they're capable of evasive thinking, and they're capable of complex reasoning and thinking out situations. That was planned. And it's a good, I think it's a good answer. It's a tangential answer, but it's a good answer to why sometimes they can avoid trail cameras. They're smart. They're very smart. We underestimate it because we are arrogant as a species. We underestimate everything. Everything.
So what are your thoughts, Adam, then, as far as them being able to see the red, from our cameras, the infrared?
Well, I mean, let me say I don't know, but I've seen creatures like them display evasive behavior. So in Sumatra, I was with a guy called Jeremy Holden, very good wildlife photographer, found many new species, brilliant photographer of tigers. Yeah, great, real sort of. We did one of the Monster Quest things, Jeremy and I, in Sumatra, and we saw with the orang pendek, the bipedal primate in Sumatra, where the grass was flattened around the camera. It'd seen the camera and walked to the side of it. So it just like seen it. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't make mistakes and you are ever hopeful. But I do think that they're very smart, very smart. I mean, I've got every animal I want to capture on trail camera now, but one, which is painful. I mean, will I ever get a photograph of one? Probably not. Will I keep on trying? Probably yes, because I'm stubborn. But I feel like so are you two. So we've got things in common there.
We do. Gosh, I hope we get to go on expedition again together. That would be so much fun.
Yes, it would be lovely to see you both again. I would very much enjoy that. I think you're great. And I'm always a fan of your adventures. So there we are. So I'll say good night, ladies. I'll down this, and then I'm going to go to bed. It's been lovely speaking to you both.
Thank you for popping
Wonderful
on,
seeing you.
Adam. We love you.
All right. All right. Love you too. Night, night,
Love
night,
you,
night.
Adam.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.
Oh, that was so nice of him to pop on as our super surprise
know.
guest. He was
Love
on site
super
filming a
surprise
show.
guests.
Yeah, but he couldn't tell us more about it, but he was on site filming a show, so that's so fun. So, yeah. So fun. All right, back to the chat room. I was involved in here. So, do you think that Bigfoot has ties to the giants mentioned in the Bible? My personal opinion is no.
That was pretty easy.
I don't. Those giants were supposedly the children of humans and angels, right? Weren't they supposedly the offspring of humans and angels? Maybe I was wrong about that, but that doesn't equate to be a furry giant being to me. So I don't think so, but I could be wrong. So that's just my personal opinion. Jenna, do you have an opinion?
I don't think so. I don't think they're the same. I don't think they're connected so much. So no, I'm like Jen. No, that's all I have to say about it.
Oh,
but thank you for that question. It's good.
Bob has to say there were dogman sightings in Wexford County, Michigan in the 1800s from loggers. Ooh, that's interesting. I did not know that. Fun stuff.
Excuse me, I burped.
Let's see here.
Excuse me, I burped.
Octopus is in the house. I didn't get to say that close enough. You talk about Randy's place a lot. We do talk about Randy's place a lot because Randy's place is one of our favorite places to go.
It is.
It is.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place to go. Everything is mowed, so there's literally trails, and it's miles of trees and just beautiful forestry. It's just great. Ugh.
And not to mention, we've seen Bigfoot there multiple times ourselves with our own eyes in the daytime.
Yes,
so, I mean, of course, that's going to be one of our favorite places to go and to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
For anybody who hasn't yet seen it, Searching for Sasquatch 10, The Minnesota Roars, was filmed primarily at Randy's place. So go check it out in Minnesota. It was in Minnesota, which is my home state. Let's see here. I thought I already put him in timeout.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
There's
our
more
same
icky comments.
I repeat offender.
Well, maybe the people that are repeat fabulousness can take care of him.
Well, here's the thing. You're not blocked forever if you are not being a jerk. That's just the way it is. So this show is for talking about Bigfoot, not for being a jerk. So you want to talk about Bigfoot?
Please don't be a jerk.
About it.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah. So you can just move along, go somewhere else. So yeah. Let's see. Jenna, do you want to read this for us?
I will. So my question is, what's the most exciting thing that's that's happened to both of you there, and how does it compare to OTG, our place you've been? Other
Yeah, other
place you've
places.
been. So Randy's place, how does it compare?
The most exciting thing that's
Um,
happened to us, and how does it compare to the other places you've been?
seeing Bigfoot. It is seeing Bigfoot. I mean, we're seeing other things too. It's incredible. His land, his whole area has. I think it's just filled with a bunch of magical things. It's just incredible. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I already started to explain the area, but wow. Yeah. And he's very welcome. And the great thing about Randy is that he actually goes out every day. He tries to get out there every day, and he walks his land and he talks to them, and he does experiments to see if they can hear him, if he's requesting something in his mind, just to make sure that nobody's doing it. And he does a lot of work like that. So he's actually spending a lot of time out there. And that makes it a big thing too. That makes it really special because he is experiencing it too. And then we get to go and we get to experience what he's experiencing. I think that's a good thing. Hola!
Bigfoot Dwarf's in the house. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live chat.
Yes.
Robert Dunduvan is here. Hi, welcome. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
So are we going to have another guest coming in, or are we just listening to questions tonight?
Well, we're listening to questions tonight. There was another person who was invited, but said he didn't know if he could make it or not. And just off the spur of the moment, I saw Adam come across my phone, and I'm like, I'm going to invite Adam. And Adam said he'd love to come. So
I'm so happy you did. He is so
yes,
funny.
yes,
He's just a joy.
he is. And it's fun to be with people who've been on some big TV shows and go out in the field with them and learn their tracking techniques. That was, when we get to go out and do expeditions with so many different people, we always pick up something from them along the way. So we learn something new, how to track this or how to track that, what they're looking for, things like that. So much fun. I just loved being out on expedition with Adam when we went. I don't even know how many years ago that was now, but it was at least 4 or 5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, we have been on so many expeditions with so many amazing people that we have learned from. We're getting camera, picture and video advice. We're getting, things that we don't know how to look for. So we're actually learning how to track. We're learning different things, looking for knuckle prints, things like that. So we're literally learning with all of these people that we go out with. So thank you, everybody, by the way.
Yes. Love
And
it.
hopefully they're learning from us too. I mean, it's a give and take kind of a friendship.
For sure. Christina has a question. How can I find fairies? I have a story about that. So years ago, my friend Maria had gone shopping, and I think she was at Kmart. So this is telling you how long ago it was, because we don't even have those anymore. But she was in Kmart, and she was looking at the live plant section, and she's inside Kmart, and she was looking at these small little glass bowls that have it's like a succulent garden in a bowl that you keep in the house, right? And she was so excited. She called me and she's like, Jen, I have some fairies. I'm like, what? She goes, I bought some fairies. I'm like, you bought fairies? She says, yeah, they were at Kmart. I was like, what? She's like, I'm coming over. I'm like, okay. So she comes over. She brings in this bowl. It's literally this big.
Yeah.
It has succulent plants in it and some, rocks and whatever. Mm-hmm. She sets it down on the table and she says, look at them. And I was looking at her like, what? Right? Anybody would be like, what? She's like, seriously, go look at them. And so I'm looking at it, and I got close enough to it, and I started to feel this vroom, 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 vroom. And literally, so if this was the bowl, the energy field was way out here, that you could literally feel it. And it was just amazing. And so then I was excited, thinking, okay, maybe there really are fairies in here. So she gave them to me, and they were in my house.
Oh,
And I was giving them. So to answer your question, Christina, if you can find some plants and just feel their energy field, if you find one that has a really strong energy field that almost pushes back, I'd buy that one, because there's probably fairies. Because there definitely was stuff going on with that. I do believe in fairies. So, how's that?
I believe in fairies too, by the way.
Isn't a circle of mushrooms called a fairy? It's called a fairy circle, actually. And it is believed that they're dancing in that circle and whatnot. Although science will tell us that those circle of mushrooms is growing where an old tree used to be. But, I don't know. I've seen some pretty cool things. My mom was out at the lake one day, and this was quite a few years ago, and she was using a flip phone back then. And she sent me a picture of this turtle that was walking through the yard. And it was a big, big snapping turtle. And she sent me quite a few pictures of it. And I was like, I want more pictures of the turtle. Because when you zoomed in, because there was something weird about the turtle, I noticed right away. And I zoomed in, and you could almost see like tiny little creatures walking alongside of it. And like the turtle was like, it's covered. And it was like a whole troop walking to the lake. And mom had just finished taking the pictures, and she ran outside. And I'm telling you, those turtles are not fast. They're not fast. And she said it was completely gone, and it shouldn't have been able to get away that quickly. She couldn't find it. And it was in the middle of this big, huge yard. And it would have had to have walked at least 300 feet to get to the lake. So, but it was gone. It was gone. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. So sometimes I think that they walk right by you and you don't even know.
I think a lot of things walk right by us and we don't know.
I think that's true too. I think that's true.
Yeah.
Fairies are plant spirits, in my honest opinion. I should say, in my experience. I think that they are often plant spirits. Yes, they could be also tree spirits, different kinds of nature spirits in general, I think. Could be referred to as fairies. But yeah, I think they are. Definitely. What do you think, Jenna?
I forgot the question already. You were talking and I was like listening to your answer. I had no idea what was asked. My apologies.
That he thought that fairies were plant spirits.
Every time I agree with that. I'm going to say yes. I agree with that. In my personal opinion, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, sorry if that's a little out there for some of my regular Squatch folks. You know what? We're here to talk about whatever comes up tonight. So if you guys want to talk about it, we're talking about it. And that's what I posted, that it's all up to you guys within reason. Like that one.
Yeah.
Well, that one guy got booted because he was out of reason. That's for sure.
I'm glad I didn't see his bad reasoning.
Oh, he's just always negative. I just don't like that guy when he comes in here being like that.
And you can't,
I banned him. He's gone.
If you're watching, be nice.
You're the one and only person who's ever gotten kicked out of here.
You're the first and only, man.
Hello, Trevor. Thank you. I can't see what he says.
Hey, Trevor.
What do you
He
say?
says, and how are these two lovely ladies this evening?
I'm doing so good. It's been a long day, but it was a good day. How was your day, Jen?
I have been working my butt off. I just bought a new house. I am in and putting everything away, and it's been an amazing experience, but man, it's tiring. My body hurts, my back hurts, the whole business. So anyway, it's wonderful. I'm working hard.
Okay.
I think fairies are animal and plant spirits. I guess I never thought about that. That meeting with what I've come to know as a fairy was the true beginning of my spiritual awakening.
And
Really?
I'm all about spiritual awakening. What a crazy time, isn't it? It's so crazy feeling like your whole perception of reality starts changing so fast, and you're starting to wonder what's real and what's not real anymore. And you got to be careful who you tell that to. Am I right? You got to be careful who you tell that to. I was fortunate to have my native elder was the one who really coached me through my massive spiritual awakening, because when I'd always been intuitive, always been psychic, and I'd always been trying to make it go away. But when I let it open up, it flew the doors open
Mm.
like a hurricane was coming through. And boy, my life changed so fast, and it was really hard to navigate. And if I didn't have him guiding me through that, I don't know that I would have made it, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need support when we're going through tough times, especially in awakening.
I will never lay off the magic.
You got to lay off the magic. We are magic.
We are magic. Or as Jenna says, we are a force.
We are a force to be reckoned with. God darn it, all three of us together are like a force. We are a force. I hope you like forces, because we are one. No.
Well, people say that when we've gone to like psychic conventions or holistic expos where there's a lot of very aware people, when we walk through there as a team of three, people are like, whoa, whoa, our energy just comes through there, like, and they can feel us before they see us, which is fun, because
Yeah.
people are like, who are they? That was
But
before
we're
they
not being weird. We're not being weird. Like, we don't walk in like this.
Well, no,
You
we
know,
don't
like,
show. We don't.
we're
Yeah,
awesome.
we're just walking through. But yeah, but our
Yeah.
energies amplify each other's, and it creates a force. And people feel
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
People who are aware feel that. So
And I think it makes them feel good. I really do. I really think it makes them feel good.
oh, Henry, I've never even tried mushrooms other than the kind that you can get in the gourmet mushrooms. So I don't even know what that's like, unfortunately.
When I was like 17 or 18, I think I had tried mushrooms. I bought them from the neighbor when I lived not at home with my parents. And I think I paid him $100 for regular mushrooms because nothing happened. I think I got ripped off the first time I tried the mushroom.
That's a great idea. Hey, Jenna, do you want to buy some mushrooms from me?
Shut up. You never again. I will never. Never ever dozer? Why do spirits
I
get
had
mean and
clicked the
throw
wrong
things?
thing. See, here's the thing. I don't see well without my readers when I have my contacts in. So I clicked on the wrong thing.
Well, now you have a right thing. Why do spirits get mean and throw things?
Well, that's a good question. And it depends on what's happening, what kind of spirit it is. Is it a human spirit or is it some type of other kind? I mean, the
And
possibilities are endless there.
and is it an emotional tie? Emotional ties are crazy. Like, they get angry too.
Yes. We are magical animals. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
To the forest.
Just
Yes,
saying.
yes,
Get
yes.
that 3 snap.
Tammy
Where's
wants
the
to know where Tammy is. Did she tell us why
Cheers
she
to
wasn't
Tammy.
coming?
Yes.
She did?
Yes. But we don't have to share that.
I don't
It could
remember
be
why.
something amazing.
Do you remember what she said?
Yeah, I think so. Now you're making me wonder. No,
I
she
because I
was.
really don't know. I just heard Tammy say that she wasn't going to be available for this evening show, and that's all I remember about that. So I was like, I don't know where she is. She's just not here. It was planned that she wasn't going to be here. So
She told us twice, but neither one of us seemed to have grabbed it.
I don't know if she told us where she was going or what she was doing. I don't remember that
Oh,
part at all. So I
I don't
think
know
she's on
either.
a secret mission somewhere. She will be taking her black belt testing sometime soon.
Yes.
I don't think that's where she is tonight. So, because I think we would for sure know that.
Yes.
Oh, Octopus, thank you so much. Loves hanging.
Oh, I love just chatting with you ladies online here. It's a great energy. It's great energy. It truly is. Oh, thank you so much. That was a real kiss on my fingers blown at you.
Yes. Any sightings in my area, which is Eastern Ontario? I'm sure that there are, but I don't hear about them on a regular basis, I guess. So, but it's probably because that's not my area. So you'd probably be better off telling me if there were any sightings in my area. Because I don't think Jenna would know either.
No, but I'm going to check it out tonight. Check it out. I sound like I'm Canadian.
Oh, are you
check it out tonight?
Check it out.
Check it out. That was actually accidental.
All right. So Bob says that those aren't spirits throwing things, they're puckwudgies. And that's a possibility, but it's not always true because, to be quite honest, it also could be a poltergeist, which a poltergeist is generally a psychic's chaotic emotional energy just gone uncontrolled, causing things to just go flying and things to fry. And thankfully, we've gotten control of ourselves now, haven't we, Jenna?
Well,
but I think
there's a few things that happened to me when I was going through some stuff.
Right.
Recently. I mean, a bookshelf exploded.
All psychics start to go through things like that at some point in their life and can revisit that as well when some major emotional event is happening. Our emotions just cause things to happen. And, I think sometimes mine are really funny because at one point when I was going through my spiritual awakening, I had the TV on and it was on something scary. And I thought to myself, I don't think I should be watching this. And at that point in time, the channel turned by itself. And I looked over at the TV turner that was sitting on the table. And I was like, wow. And so that happened a few times at different times. And I thought, I don't think I should be watching this. And the channel turned. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
So was that
I think it's amazing.
Activity? No. Yeah. So yeah, Octopus was talking about manifestation of psychic power of someone. Yep, that's a poltergeist activity. So yeah, for sure. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for stopping by and listening.
Yes.
How do you pronounce
47 in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Ooh.
55 in Moorhead, Minnesota.
And in Texas right now. Come on. Why? Why does this phone work I never can work this phone. I'll tell you later because, oh wait, here it is. 84 degrees in Texas. Took me a minute.
It froze. 84? Okay.
That's what it said?
Andy says, my father's house, my house has a spirit. I know my father's here watching, protecting us. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe a lot of our loved ones do come back when we think about them. That love brings them back. I think that's such a true connection.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy, don't. What?
Tammy, don't laugh? Laugh?
We gotta tell us.
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
What does it mean? Are we just laughing at Tammy? Tammy don't care? Tammy's just not here.
Yeah, I think if she was here, she would probably say she didn't care. Maybe? I don't know. Excuse me, I burped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I got a message. I have to say this. I got a message, and in this message, this person, the only thing he said to me was, so you're a healer. And I wrote back because I didn't tell him everything, but I wrote back and I said, well, I haven't been working on that for years. And I didn't get to tell him, he never wrote back and I couldn't even find the message again. But I never got to tell him that the reason I haven't been working on healing for so long on other people is because I've been working on healing myself. And I think that's so important to do before you ever start to do any kind of work on anybody else, that you're not working on people unless you're healed yourself. That's my personal opinion.
Well, that kind of goes against your Reiki training.
Yes,
So
I understand that part, Jen.
you have to have the healing go through you in order to give it to somebody else. So, but I do agree
But
that you
right
should,
now I'm
before you start to guide
healing.
other people, before starting to guide other people, you should feel that. But yes, I think it's important to focus on yourself, because people who are caregivers by nature, which I know you are,
What?
won't take enough time for yourself. And so I think it's amazing and awesome that you're spending that time focusing on your own journey at this
Healing
moment.
myself.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so I thought about that question and I thought about how I answered it, and I was just like, well, that made me sound like a dink. You know what I mean? But I'm so glad I got to bring it up today. So if you were the one that asked, please understand that I'm working on myself right now. I'm not working on healing other people or healing anything else. So just myself.
It's important for everyone to take their self-care seriously, and
Very, very seriously.
at least once a week, sit down and focus on self-healing.
Yeah.
I think that's very
Especially when your body has gone through trauma. I'm sorry, but when it goes through trauma over and over and over again, you gotta take care of it,
absolutely.
mentally and physically.
Yes. Wendell meant that Tammy doesn't have control yet.
Oh heck no!
That's funny. She does, but she has teenagers.
Yeah, she does.
She does. So Jenna and I are empty nesters over here. Jenna never had a nest, but I had a nest. My nest is empty. So long time now. But
What time is it?
Octopus agrees
Oh
that love and light
my!
always heals regardless. Yay. I love love and light.
Oh
Love
yeah.
and light. So yeah,
So
I'm so glad that everybody came in to hang out with us tonight. And what else do you guys want to know about? If I missed any of your questions in the chat, I'm sorry. I don't see very well. So if you put them in all caps, I probably won't miss it. But if you don't, then I might. So yeah, running up and down the chat, looking for stuff. Andy says good night.
while she's looking at chats, I'm looking at you.
Oh, that's scary, Jenna. Can you see me?
What?
What am I doing now?
No.
How many fingers am I holding up?
No, now I'm looking at you. Oh Lord! I'm gonna look at the camera. Oh,
Have
that's
we
fun.
done any research in Alabama? I've been to
I don't think
Alabama
so.
one time, and I did not do research there, but I had an experience. This was years before I was into Bigfoot at all, but I went down there because my stepson was graduating from Army boot camp, and we were staying. He was doing, was it Georgia, but we stayed in Alabama. I don't know how that worked, but we must have been on the border. Anyway, we were in Alabama, and we went to this river area, and there was like this cliff there with trees and foliage and whatever. And this weird thing happened. And I'm talking, had to have been 2008 or 2009, maybe. And we're walking along, and everybody that's with us is looking at the river. And I'm looking at the foliage on this cliffside that we're walking next to. And they're like, look at the river. And I'm like, yeah. And my attention is right into the trees. I had the most eerie feeling that somebody was in there watching us. And you couldn't tell me that there wasn't somebody in there watching us. I knew that there was somebody in there watching us. So as I kind of honed into where they were at, I started walking and putting my face in to the foliage to look inside of there, and then this thing come flying out at me, and it was this big bug of some kind. And my intuition told me it wasn't really a bug, it was like a robot bug, which they didn't really, I think, have at that time, or at least we didn't know about it. But now I've seen them on TV. Now they have those. So they probably did have them then, but whatever it was like trying to, every time I put my face in there to look, it would like fly right in my face. As soon as I stepped away, it would leave me alone. But as soon as I put my face in there, it would fly into my face again. I was like, all right. And so I literally said, all right, you don't want me to look? I'm not going to look. Just know I know you're in there. Of course, my husband at the time thought I was in that case, but I told him that that was like a little robot bug that was trying to scare me out of there. And there's some surveillance going on there. And he was just like, oh. And I'm just like, seriously, there is. If you wanted to look, you should. But he never believed in me. But, you know, if we were still together today, I should probably find a video of that robot bug that they have. They're out now. You can see all about them online.
I so want to see that picture. You better get it out. I want to see it ASAP.
Yes.
I don't remember you telling me that.
Oh, well, maybe. Well, there's a lot of stories in my life.
Yeah. You've got a lot of them.
How did we get names so close? Well, to be honest, Jen and Jena is what we are now for just the two of us, and then Tammy. But our real names is Jennifer. We're both Jennifer. Okay. And when we first started out, we were both Jen. Mm-hmm. And people referred to us as the Jens. But it got very confusing for them because when they would talk about us, they were trying to distinguish which one of us they were talking about, and they had a hard time doing that. So we had to have a slightly different thing to our name. So I stayed Jen, and Jena became Jena because that was her name.
Actually, I've always been Jena. My nieces and nephews all called me Jena. They started by calling me Nena, Nena. After a while, they just started calling me Jena because I'm Jennifer, and it was the sweetest nickname, and I've lived by it, and I love them for giving it to me. And yes, I'm Jena all the way.
Yes. And then just to add Tammy in, even though she's not here, when I first met Tammy as an adult, she was living about 2.5 miles away on a farm from the farm where I grew up. And her last name at that time was Cruz, spelled differently than my last name, which is Cruz. And so we had the same last name, just a different spelling. Isn't that fun? And she was living like 2.5 miles away from where I grew up. And she married a man who I'd known since I was 5. So, isn't that fun? Then she later married him. Then her name wasn't Cruz anymore. But what do we think of the Loch Ness Monster? What do we think of the Loch Ness Monster?
I think there's probably a lot of things under the sea that we don't know about. I just don't believe that the Loch Ness Monster really exists. Sorry if you hate me for that one. No, I just think there's a lot of things that exist, but the pictures that they've taken and the, evaluating and looking at these photos and everything, I just don't. In the water with waves and reflection and everything else, the pictures that I've seen, I'm not a believer 100% at all.
All right.
What do you think?
Oh, I've moved on. What were we talking about?
Oh, Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, the Loch Ness Monster. Sorry, I was looking at the next comment. So then I was like, what are we talking about? The Loch Ness Monster. So I think that if the Loch Ness Monster, if there's something like that exists, I think that it's highly possible and probable that there are portals under the ocean in which they could swim through from another parallel dimension or parallel universe where they do exist on the regular. And maybe they just pop in for a quick.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Maybe they just pop into ours and are sighted for a little bit and then they're gone. However, our oceans are the most undiscovered place that there is. We know more about space than we know what's at the bottom of our ocean. So
exactly. But what do you think? Like, what is your opinion on does it exist or not? I
always thought it was a plesiosaur, is what I thought. So if it exists, it's a plesiosaur. I guess I thought that it does somewhere, at some place, at some point. But I think some of the photos of it are not real. I think some of them aren't real, but
Yeah.
I think it's,
I mean,
because there's one in Lake Champlain. There's, there's different monsters, not just in one loch. They're over on our continent too. So I think that it's highly possible that there is something out there that is undiscovered in the waters, and perhaps it's just floating through from another parallel.
well, like Bigfoot, I can't just accept that. I'd have to do a lot of investigating and a lot of research on that, because it took me forever to even believe in Bigfoot. It did.
Oh, I know.
I
know. Because
I
it
know
was
you
the
know.
most annoying thing ever.
I know. You were angry. You were like, Jenna, we are finding evidence. But it didn't click.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah. For sure. But, if I guess the Loch Ness isn't, I went looking for the one in Minnesota.
Oh, you did?
I did. I can't remember. It starts with a P. Now I can't remember, but it's in Minnesota, and I think it was southern Minnesota, or was it in Wisconsin?
I don't know.
I'm really sure it was Minnesota. Anyway, I went looking, and here's the thing: a big body of water that's going to hide something like that in it, you need some serious boats. You need some serious stuff to look under the water, and we just don't have it. That's going to take some serious time, commitment, and money to look for something like that. And that's something that we just don't have, and we probably won't be looking for something like that.
But if you want us to, you can definitely support us by paying for it.
Yes.
Anytime.
Yes. For sure. For sure. Oh, let's see.
That was a good question. We really don't talk about Loch Ness very much.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tahoe Nessie is the Loch Ness Monster, a.k.a. Ogopogo.
Mm-hmm. Good thought. Good thought. Let's see. Did I put this one up?
Holland Hunters Camp in Hollins, Alabama is a great place to go if y'all come back down.
I'm so ready to come to Alabama.
I am too.
There's all kinds of places that we haven't been yet looking for Bigfoot, and I want to go to all of them.
Yes, I think all three of us do.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. I think Tammy got us saying that we want to do all the things.
All the
She's always said that. Yeah, all the things. Now I'm saying it like to other people, and I'm like, Jenna, that's Tammy's. But I still use it.
And so I like it.
It's so appropriate.
Well, yeah. I want to say, whatever you guys want us to talk about in future shows, please give us some ideas. Come back and leave them in the comment section of the video, and we'll look at it and get to it, because we love to do that. And it is already the end of the show. Jenna's hair. Should I make my hair big too?
Doesn't quite. Well, that actually kind of looks really cool, Jen.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Hope to see you here next week. Please like and subscribe to our channel. My hair is amazing.
And we appreciate you. Thank you for coming and listening.
You never know when we're going to have a surprise guest, so who it might be. Good night, everyone.
Good night.